Good morning, everybody. It is October 2nd, almost 7 o'clock in the morning. I've been up for just about an hour. My first hour was spent basically looking at comments and my, my emails. My sinuses today are out of whack. It just must be really bad outside. Of course, according to the Weather Channel, it's like a humidity of 98 degrees. And I'm like, yeah, that could be part of the cause of my sinuses. Other parts could be just slept wrong. Medication didn't go in right. I don't know. The nose spray, sometimes if I don't do it right, just doesn't seem to work. But part of my morning routine, when I have the mornings to do it on basically my days off or weekends, I try to look in depth into some of the comments and whatnot, and my emails, because some of my emails are informative, and some of them I want to address, some of them I'm not going to even worry about, because it's just, well, for lack of better words, those who don't want to fully understand and want to talk out of their butts are awry. They're everywhere. And there's no sense of wasting my time with that. But anyhow, waking up this morning was interesting. My alarm went off at 6 because I like to try to, since I had a 4-day weekend, I slept in 2 days, and then today and tomorrow I have to get up as early as possible, so I'm not totally messing up my sleep patterns for the weekdays. And because I know sometimes on Monday, if I don't get up early on the weekends, Monday I'm like a zombie. I know what to do, I just don't know what I'm doing, if you can understand that. But anyhow, waking up this morning, I woke up, well, I didn't come to bed until almost 9 o'clock, and Jerry was already passed out, which, hey, after her day yesterday, I'm kind of surprised she didn't pass out shortly after dinner. So, what was dinner last night? Oh, leftovers. But she had told me she woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning thinking it was closer to 6. I've done that. But she's a little out of it right now because she didn't sleep as long as she thought she did, and she had trouble getting back to sleep. That and her hip or leg, where they took the biopsy from, the pain medication is starting to wear off, basically. So she's starting to feel some of the pain. I'm hoping between the gabapentin and the Aleve. Is it Aleve? It's something with codeine. It's probably Aleve with codeine or something like that. It's a prescription that gives a little bit of an extra kick for those really bad days. So yeah, I'm just doing what I can right now to help her deal with the situation. Excuse me. My plans for today, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do them all, depending on how Jerry's feeling and whatnot. For the most part, the plans for the pantry and whatnot, trying to straighten that up, it's a one-person job because there's not enough room for 2 people to go piddle farting in there. I just have to move some stuff around so I can open up the door wider. There's a lot of little projects that I want to try to get done until either Jerry feels like she can help out with the craft room or what the deal is. Thing is, if we're going to do the craft room, Jerry has to get the flooring because we're going to rip up the carpeting in there, and yeah. Trying to get this room done as is difficult enough because a lot of the stuff that's in here is supposed to go in there. But at the same time, it's not that I'm not concerned about my house. It's more like I'm concerned about my house, but I'm concerned more about Jerry. So one of the little projects I might be doing later on is trying to clean up and straighten up in our room so it doesn't look like, well, it doesn't look as bad as it used to, but still I see areas that need improvement. But that's just me. I'm always seeing room for improvement, but not having the chance, time, or whatever to do it. I don't want to say I'm waiting for Jerry to say, sure, go ahead and do it. I'm more like waiting for Jerry to be more understanding of why I'm doing it. And, getting her to understand that in order to do what I want to do, she's got to be willing to get rid of a lot of her extras. I'm trying to get rid of a lot of my extras, which surprisingly enough is not as much as I thought it was because, well, most of my stuff is books or my clothes. And every other year or so I downsize because it's like I haven't worn it in a year or more. Why do I still have it? Or I haven't used it in a year or more. Why do I still have it? I was actually talking to a friend here in Rolla who said that if I have any extra books that I don't want to keep, I can donate them to the local library because most of the books in the local library is either donations or secondhand books anyhow. Which I was like, yeah, I kind of noticed because last time I went in there to look for a certain book to read but not buy, they did not have that much in that category. So I'm looking around at some of the stuff that I can clean in here right now. But I'm hoping Jerry can do what she wants to do because she was talking about, putting, what's the old saying? Proof is in the pudding, and she wanted to put out the proof of what she's been talking about because there's way too many people out there who don't believe her. And now that we've got her slides and imagery from all the different tests, she wants to put those online. And I'm kind of like, I don't know if that's a wise idea because there are those who would use it for the wrong purposes. And at the same time, I'm kind of like, yeah, that would be a great idea because that would shut up a lot of people. So, yeah, I'm kind of like, which is the better of the two evils? Shutting up people so they can understand that we're not pulling the wool over anybody's eyes or anything like that, or letting those people have the pictures and whatnot to be negative or spreading more BS or half-truth. And I'm not really concerned about it for my sake. I'm more concerned about it for her sake because, yes, it would prove that what we've been talking about with her medical history or her medical well-being at this point in time will be out there for people to go, oh, yeah, they were telling us the truth. Maybe we owe them apologies. I don't care about the apologies. I just want them to go, oh, yeah, okay, they're being honest about this. I don't see why anybody would lie about this, because this is just it's a serious thing, and it's not a joking matter. I don't know the statistics or anything like that, but I'm gonna say there's hundreds, maybe even thousands of people in America alone who have some form of cancer or life-altering ailment. As for the one person on my channel who was commenting about me putting Jerry on her deathbed, no. Jerry Ann was the one who started talking about bucket lists and things that she wanted to do before she passed away. Neither one of us are looking for the Grim Reaper to come knocking at the door. It's one of those things where it's like, if it is a life-changing issue, we want to do certain things before it's, before her number's called. And as for my job, I plan on keeping a full-time job. The only reason why I said anything about going down to a part-time job is in case I'm needed at home as much as I need to be working. I do not want to do a part-time job. I do not want to retire from this job too early. I love this job. There's no reason for me to think about leaving this job. I have no plans for leaving a job that I enjoy, that I'm really loving. Every day is an adventure, and every day, because of the adventure, it's fun. Granted, I know a certain routine that I have to do every Monday morning, and I go in there every Monday morning, do the routine, and by the time I'm done with the routine, I still have some time to, sometimes, not all the time, sometimes I have time to chop up extra vegetables or whatnot for one of the other venues. So if I have the time to help out other venues, that's exactly what I do, because I don't like just sitting around going, I'm done with all my stuff. What am I supposed to do? And sometimes I help other venues. Sometimes I help chef. It really depends on the needs of the day. There are some days that I go in there and I'm like, well, we don't really have to do much because what we did the day before is still good for today, type situation. I can spend the bulk of my morning helping out other venues. So that's what I do, and I enjoy it. I have no problem with it. In fact, I think I get more joy out of helping others than helping myself. When I know what to do, I go looking to see if they need it done. That's what I enjoy doing. I enjoy helping. I enjoy serving. Yes, I do have problems with that here at home, because I'm like, I get home and I'm like, I've been doing this all day. I really don't want to be a servant or a server or anything like that. I want to just be able to relax, because I think doing it 24/7 it gets to you, or at least it gets to me. But until we get Jerry's results from yesterday's biopsy, I am trying to play it by ear, one day at a time. I'm not really looking to do anything towards the future until I know what we can do, because for the most part, I think we're going to have to stay close to home for procedures and whatnot. I had this crazy idea that if Jerry has to spend a bulk of her time in Springfield at the hospital down there in Springfield, I might as well rent an apartment or something like that to stay close to her. But at the same time, it's kind of like, no, because that means you'll have to leave your job. And I'm not a big fan of driving to Springfield. Don't know if Julie will do what my idea was, is try to get an apartment down there by the hospital. Or if they can do it all here in Rolla, that would be 10 times better, because actually it'd be 100 times better, because I can go to work, do my job, go up to the hospital, if Julie was there all day with Jerry, send Julie home, let her relax a little bit, and I can spend a couple hours up there with her before I have to come here and go back to sleep. You know, I'd rather do something like that than having to worry about, oh, I have to be in Rolla from Monday to Friday. Friday night I can drive up to Springfield and go to the apartment or a hotel for 2 nights or a night. I don't know. These are just things that ran through my head on the drive to pick Jerry up from her procedure. But I don't know. That was just a wild idea that popped in my head, and I'm just like, we'll file that away for possibilities, ifs, maybes type file. So it's a combination of not knowing what the next step is and waiting. The one thing I can't do that well is waiting for more information. It's like, I know it's coming. Is it here yet? And that's basically what my brain is doing. It's really hard to keep it calm when I know it's going to be coming. I just don't know when or how soon. But, I mean, yeah, yesterday was great that, Jerry was getting the procedure done, and Julie and I were getting necessities. Well, I got stuff I wanted from the Renaissance bookstore, but Sam's Club was a necessity. I mean, the things that we got from the Sam's Club were things we needed. That right there, yesterday's shopping spree, getting bourbon chicken and things like that, was it was fun, but it's one of those things that only happens once in a blue moon, because we don't always go to Springfield. So I'm just kind of like, okay, that was good. Kept it within a healthy budget. Didn't go overboard. The one book I did get, I didn't really need, but I wanted it. Probably going to be looking through my books and whatnot here in the next couple of days, weeks, or whatever. Because I think I'm going to clean out some of the books that I don't read no more and take them up to the library, see if they want them. I know there's 5 or 6 books up there that I probably will not get rid of because of their usefulness. Probably a bunch of Bible-based books that I probably won't get rid of because either A, I haven't read them, or B, I use them every now and then. But I think I've got multiple daily devotion books, and I might donate them to the library, all except for one. But I'm going to start reading those again, because I think those daily devotions will be good for the mind and spirit, and could even help me through the bumpy road, roller coaster, whatever you want to call it, that we may be going into pretty soon because of procedures and doctor's visits and treatments for whatever they find. But a couple of you mentioned Jerry's keto diet, which could cause issues with kidneys and whatnot. Which I don't know exactly what kind of keto diet she's on. I just know she has a book called Keto Diet Recipes, and she's also got another one for diabetic recipes. And I'm hoping when she gets a little bit better and she can start coming out to the kitchen and sitting at the kitchen table longer, she can help with making some of the diabetic foods in her slow cooker, or not slow cooker, Instapot. There we go, Instapot. But the thing is I know one of the things that her sister has said is if you're going to be on a keto diet, drink lots of fluids. And she drinks water all day long, except for maybe her cup of coffee in the morning time. She doesn't drink soda. She drinks water. She'll have, she's got these flavored electrolyte packs that she puts in one of her waters for the day. So I don't know if she's drinking way too much water, or she's the foods that she's been eating keto wise has been the warning. One of the warnings was eating too much protein could cause problems with the kidneys as well. So I'm just wondering if we're doing it wrong, or just her lifelong childhood of eating processed foods and whatnot has finally not finally, that's a bad word, has caused some of her issues. There's a lot of different things that could have caused her current problems. Got to find out from the doctor. Maybe the doctor will after the biopsy and maybe one or two more tests, the doctor might suggest laying off keto or sticking to a regimen of regular foods, but watch the carb or sugar intakes. Maybe the fact that she hasn't been eating breads, especially lately, or regular pasta instead of the gluten-free pasta, has caused some issues. I don't know. These are all the things that I don't know, and I just kind of go, I wonder, All I know is I'm in it with her. I might not understand it all. I might not be reading the reports like she is. She's got her doctor friend to ask questions. She's got my mom, who is a medical transcriptionist, to ask questions about words that they're medical jargon and we don't know the wording or what it means. But it was her doctor friend was the first one that said it looks cancerous. It was her actual medical doctor, her doctor, that said stage 4 kidney cancer, or kidney cancer. Which basically means it's not curable, but it is treatable. And I'm like, how long is it going to take to treat it properly, to get it into remission? And how much, my biggest concern isn't just the amount of time that it will take to treat it. It's I don't want to talk about it, but it's part of the problem is the overall expense. And I'm like, let's see here, my job, YouTube, who knows what other resources that might be presented to us to help pay for the medical bills, because between the treatment, the procedures, and the scans and whatnot, that's going to cost a pretty penny. That and the fact that we're coming up towards the end of the year, and this is when we have to go to the state provided medical services and either reapply for our current medical insurance, or apply and hope we get a really good medical insurance. Now my job offers all the different coverages: medical, dental, optical, life insurance, death and dismemberment insurance, all that fun stuff. And I have until December. Actually, I have until the end of November to make that decision and pick and choose. Which, every time I go to talk to Jerry about it, she's like, "Oh, whatever. I'm like, no, not whatever. We can have the insurance through my job, which will cost us money, or we can have the medical insurance from the state while getting the dental, optical, life insurance, and accidental death and dismemberment insurance for a fairly inexpensive price." But every time we go to talk about it, it's just like, don't get an answer. I get a lot of hemming and hawing. So I might have to just go on there and apply and hope it doesn't, take a large chunk out of my paycheck. But I'm willing to do whatever is necessary to take care of the bills. I work my butt off. Might have to, let's see here. She needs to look into AARP better. I mean, she has it. I have it under her. By the end of October, I will be able to apply for AARP. 50 years and older, you can apply for AARP. And yeah, one of the many different things I have to look into just to make sure I can get all my bills, all the medical covered. I'm not asking anybody for any assistance or handouts or anything like that. I'm happy with the fact that you guys are giving us a ton of well wishes and prayers, and that's all I ask for. I don't ask for any kind of financial assistance. I mean, just your viewership helps out a lot, because it's your viewership that helps me make an income through YouTube. And I know there's groups of people out there who don't like us for whatever reason, who would try to get you not to view, or they want to spy and view without the YouTube income. So I know that sounds a little down and dirty, but that's how some of these people are. And I know sometimes one of the reasons why I'm pretty much not worried about them anymore is because I know in the past when I was reading some of their material, it pushed my buttons. It really pushed my buttons. And it made things difficult. And that's fine. Everybody has a right to express their opinions in one way, shape, or form. I don't remember the comment or whatnot, but somebody made a comment this morning on last night's video, and I didn't get the chance to be the first one to answer it, but I had somebody who answered it for me, and that person got upset because I didn't answer it. So I put in my 2 cents. But after yesterday and having a long talk with Jerry before she fell asleep, or before I went to do that second video, I had forgotten I had scheduled a video for like 1:30 in the morning for Friday morning. And when I got back from Springfield, I did another video, which, I was kind of like, I want to get this out so everybody knows that she's gone through the procedure and we're just waiting for results and information. But I had talked to Jerry and I said, this is the last time we can do any kind of, shopping spree for extras. Now, the stuff that we got at Sam's Club, that was one thing. But the stuff that I got from the bookstore was totally separate, because it wasn't food stuff. It was personal stuff. And I basically said, we can't do that anymore. We have to start pinching our pennies and minding our expenses, because we don't know what the future can hold expense-wise because of medical. Somebody has suggested setting up a separate account to put extra money in, like whatever extra money we have after bills, split that in half and put it into a separate account for medical expenses. And I just kind of went, it sounds like a great idea, but I'm already juggling a house account where we put in X amount of dollars per month, usually about as close to $1,200 as we can do to cover. Mom puts in $1,200, we put in $1,200. That right there covers the mortgage, the utilities, internet, basically all the house stuff, and whatever money is left over or whatnot goes to paying our personal bills. We have our personal bills. Mom has her personal bills. So it's been working out that way ever since we moved in. There has been a couple times where we struggled to get that $1,200, but we always managed to get to the $1,200 in by the end of the month. And usually it's been actually working out, because Mom puts in her $1,200 at the beginning of the month when she gets paid, and we use that to pay bills. And now that I have a job, every other week we put in X amount of dollars to split the $1,200. And by the end of the month, we've accumulated all the money we need to pay the bills and whatnot. And sometimes there's extra money left over, which we leave in there for family dinner out. Hey, we're tired of cooking. Let's either go to a nice restaurant or a decent restaurant, Denny's. Places like that is not expensive. Once in a blue moon, we'll do something fancy like Colton's, Colton's is about the only thing fancy here in town that Mom likes. Mom doesn't like Applebee's because of the seasoning on the meat and whatnot. Or instead of going out, we'll order in pizza or something that can be delivered. Because a lot of times, especially during weekdays, I come home and they're all like, oh yeah, let's order out for dinner. Do you mind picking up? Sure, I'll go pick it up even though I'm exhausted and ready to pass out. But yeah, sure. Sometimes it's like, hey, we've had good delivery services through, our local Chinese delivery people. But we've been cut back on that too because, expenses. So we're being mindful of that already. I'm I'm trying to learn how to do the bills and whatnot so I can pay them in the, well, so if I have to pay them in the future because Jerry's not able to. She's too tired or too sore, or the treatments have taken it all out of her and she can barely, move or whatever. So I have to learn how to do that. I'm just going to have to be very mindful of what I'm doing and whatnot. I'm pretty sure I can do it with Jerry just laying there in bed, talking me through it, especially on her really bad days. I'm not putting her in a deathbed. I'm not putting her out of the picture. I'm just wanting to be prepared for the days that she can't do anything because of how tired or how worn out she is. And I don't want to wait until the last minute to pay the bills before they start sending us nasty grams. Digital. You're late and you've incurred a late fee, or one thing or another. I honestly told Jerry, and this was months ago, that why don't we pay off a bunch of these credit cards and just cancel the account, pay them off and cancel the account. Well, the system's already done that for us. We had 3 or 4 different credit cards for like clothing stores, Old Navy, a few places like that we had paid off the card, but we hadn't used the card in months, and they basically canceled the account. They said, you're not using your account's paid off, we're just going to shut it off. Me, I was like, yay, one less card to play with. But Jerry was like, oh, they closed my account, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, isn't that a good thing? We're not using the card, so why would they want to keep the account open? It's just occurring. No, it wasn't even occurring any kind of monthly charge. It was just paid off. Didn't owe anything. Wasn't being charged anything for having the card. But I was just kind of like, well, I can understand, because why would a company want to hold somebody's card or account open when they're not using it, but it's paid off? Besides that, like I said to her, every time she said a card was paid off, I was like, oh, good. More money towards other cards that we need to pay off. Sound logical to me. But, one man's logic is somebody else's misunderstanding, I guess. I don't know. I'm practical with that kind of stuff. I'm like, if I'm not going to use it and it's going to cost me money to have it, why would I want to have it? It's just stretching out my wallet even more. Having well, I don't have all the cards in my wallet, thankfully, because I would get like Jerry. Oh, yeah, okay, I want that. Here's a card. Buy now, pay later. I've never understood that. It's probably one of the reasons why I never had a credit card before meeting Jerry, because it's like, if I ain't got the money on hand and I can't afford what I want now, it just means I have to learn how to save more money to get the thing that I wanted. I don't know. Credit cards to me are like the bank's way of saying, we got you by the coattail. You can use the card all you want, but you got to pay it back. And if you don't pay it back on time, we can charge you more money. It's like saying, here, have my paycheck, give me a card. I don't know. Never understood that practice. Never understood that practice. I guess, and I don't even remember if my father or my parents had credit cards. Because I think my father was the same way. If I ain't got the money in the bank, why am I going to try to buy it now so that I can pay for it later? I want to pay for it now and be done and over with and own the thing. instead of giving the bank the chance to say, hey, you're way over your limit. We're going to have to come into your house and take the things that you bought with that card away from you. So I don't think my father ever had anything beyond a bank card. He might have had a military bank card of some sort for his, when he was in the military, but I don't think I remember anything more than just a regular bank card ever being in his wallet after he passed away. Because I think if he had anything beyond just a bank card and all the important papers and stuff that he had in the wallet that he was basically taught to keep with him at all times by the military and his family, my dad was not one of those like, yeah, let's buy it now and pay for it later. But that was 35 to 40 years ago. Yeah, 35, because I was still 15 when he passed away. It was the summer before I turned 16 that he passed away. But life can be a rough road. It can be a fickle road. It has all kinds of twists, turns, and forks, and all that fun jazz. And I've learned to try to deal with it as best as I can. There are some things I still don't have full understanding or full, I guess the word would be capacity to deal with it. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe that's just the way my brain is. I don't know. I'm not trying to blame anybody or anything. But this is life. Anyhow, hopefully you guys were able to follow my train of thought, my words, whatever. I know there was a lot of twists and turns and whatnot in this vlog, and I apologize for those who cannot or could not keep up with me. I think sometimes the only way people can fully keep up with me is if they have some form of ADD or ADHD in my case. What do they call it? Attention deficit hyper disorder or something like that. Anyhow, but that's today's vlog. So I'm going to go ahead and try to get off this before it gets way too long. But anyhow, if you enjoyed this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the question comment box. If you're new to my channel and choose to subscribe for whatever reason, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and there will be a little bell that pops up. You can click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. Until next time, we'll see each other later. Bye.